All right. My kid got to my board here, started writing some things down. And for teenagers, she writes some pretty good stuff here. Big minds talk about ideas. Average minds talk about events. Small minds talk about people. Giving up just makes you lose faith in yourself, makes you lose opportunities, and makes you forget why you started it. Giving up is not an option. People who talk behind your back are destined to stay there. Oh, hey, you. Big minds talk about ideas. Average minds talk about events. Small minds talk about people. So, oh yeah, she could just go up there and doodle and write silly stuff, but that's the kind of stuff my kids are thinking about. I'm impressed. Okay. Well, I just wanted, hey, what's up, you? I was just thinking about squaring the circle today and how it works finally dawned on me and how it works with the Great Pyramids. I've gotten close to it before, but it finally made sense to me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Part of it came from this book right here. And this is L.A. Marzulli. I like this guy. I suspect maybe Mateo probably heard of him. But here he's talking about how right here in the Ohio River Valley, and we have mounds everywhere. I done one video where I was up on the mound and putting out my guess about who might have done it and that sort of thing, who might have built it. And I didn't have the measurements, and I didn't understand the gematria and the sacred geometry like I do now when I made that video. And I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to get some measurements and see how that one pans out. It was interesting, though, that it says that a lot of mounds in the Mid-Ohio Valley are in threes, are built in threes. And I already knew that about the ones in Marietta. We had three built up there. And the three built up there, we had one that's in a circle shape like this, and has like a little, it looks like a moat around it, but it's not really a moat. I mean, it doesn't fill with water or anything, but it's a ditch that goes all the way around it, and it's just a cone shape. And then we had a flat top one that is in the shape of, some people say a turtle. I don't know. I don't think it's a turtle, but I don't know. It's that one. And then there's one that the library's on. And roughly, they look to me like they were Orion's belt. Okay, just like, hey, Joey, how you doing, man? I was just looking at some of your stuff, Joey. Well, when I was thinking about this, I'm talking about squaring the circle and Indian mounds and different things like this. Well, here's the ones in Marietta. There's a library built on top of this one built by the Rockefellers, but the mound's still there, and these two are flat, and this is a cone. But when I took my cell phone back in the day and I expanded this picture to the full length of my screen, and I was thinking, this is probably like the belt of Orion, and probably like the pyramids. I thought, well, there's probably a reason they go in threes. It makes a lot of sense. And I don't know if this has occurred to anybody else or not. But when I did that, and then I did the same thing with the picture of the Great Pyramids, they matched. But they didn't match till I flipped the other one, until I flipped it upside down. Then they matched perfectly. They were a little off straight. But so I thought that was really interesting. Little discovery I made there. I don't know if that's accurate. Expanding it to the size of my screen, I don't know if that's mathematically accurate or not. But I actually put a point on the paper. I put a paper on my screen, and I put a point on each dot, and they did go perfectly on the pyramids. So, for what that's worth, very interesting. So, The last of the Mohawk code talkers died. No kidding. Hey, what do you know? Well, this is a good day to talk about that then, huh? That is very interesting. I assume you're talking about the ones from World War II that were coding for our troops because the Japanese didn't know the Indian code, the Indian language. I think that's what you're talking about. That is really interesting. That I'd be talking about that on that day of all things. You know, it's like the world's organized, almost like it's done by design. You know, this stuff never ceases to amaze me. Yeah. Well, I'm reading in this book here in the Trail of the Nephilim here by L.A. Marzulli. One of the mounds in West Virginia, he calls it a hinge, but I've never seen it down there, but I want to try to find it because I really want to see it. It says it has a 555 feet circumference, which I thought was really interesting because and it occurred to me before I even read the rest of the paragraph, that's the height of the Washington Monument. So I knew where they were going with that. Oh, you just woke up? Well, it's an unusual time to be up, but I work midnight, so my days off, I have a hard time going to sleep too early. And I just wanted to go back and practice some of my sacred geometry and just try to understand it better. I love books like this. This is really neat. So I don't know if doing math of course for you, Joey, I don't know. You're a big math fan, sacred geometry fan. So something like this might keep you awake where it put anybody else to sleep. I don't know. But at 3 in the morning, 3:30. So like I said, okay, there was a circle. I'll just draw like a circle here. I'll try to draw what's in this book here. So just drawing that. But so the hinge is like this, and it has an entrance right here. It's 555 circumference feet, and the entrance is 33 feet. And one thing that I never realized, hey Claire, how you doing? Is that 1,080, which is the radius of the moon, square rooted, is 33. It's slightly off because it's a decimal point, but it rounds up. It's like 32.8 or something like that. So let's see. 555 feet multiplied by pi equals 1746. Which is the sum total of 666 plus 1,080. Is that right? Am I reading that right? Oh, 666. Yeah, I wrote it wrong. I said it right, wrote it wrong. 666 plus 1,080 is 1746. And this is how big this was around. And it's 33 entrants. And just like it said, 33 is the number of miracles that Jesus did and the age that Jesus was at crucifixion. So I just thought that was absolutely fascinating. Now we have the Washington Monument that's 555 feet tall or 6,660 inches. No doubt trying to incorporate the same geometry and the same idea. So that was the beginning of my desire to start writing this today. And some of this is going to look really familiar to you, Joey. Well, heck, I might even saw it on one of your pictures. I can't even remember, to be honest with you. But Joey puts up his pictures on Mathematics of the Las Vegas Shooting Facebook page, which is a good place to see his pictures. And plus, I think I have them loaded onto my Facebook page as well, because usually anytime he puts out a picture, I save it, and then I put it on mine too. So you might be able to find his pictures on my page as well. He does some great research. He's a smart guy. I don't know if he's a genius like you are, Hugh, but he's pretty close to it. He's really uncovered some amazing things. Well, anyway, so about to the 1,080, the square root is 33. Well, 1,080 times 2 is 2,160, and 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. So that's our moon, right? I draw this all the time. And that makes half is 1,080. All right. Now, here's one thing I thought was just really, really interesting. Here's our Earth. And this is the one I think was on. I think this is your picture, Joey. Pretty sure it is. I wouldn't swear to it. I was looking at so many of them, I forgot. Okay, so this is the Earth. Here's the moon. There's the diameter of the moon. Now, if you draw a circle that encompasses both the Earth and the moon, it's 31,680. Now, why is that interesting? Well, it's the same thing as this. It's the same thing as when we take the Earth and we draw a square around the Earth. Okay, the diameter of the Earth is 7,920. Let's see, is that all? Yeah, it's still on the camera. Okay, and we take 7,920, or each one of these lines, times 4, and there we go. We get our 31,680 that way also. So there's two ways to come up with the 31,680. And this line would have to touch the top of the moon. Not the best artist here. And what's interesting about the 31,680, of course, that's Lord Jesus Christ in Greek gematria. So if you take it, the value in the Greek gematria letters, that's our 3,168. You just drop the 0. You know, 0 is not that important. So if we actually wrote out Kurios, Asus, great at it. See, Asus, Christos. There we go. That'll actually equal in Greek gematria 3168. And yet there's two ways to find that. But this isn't where the adventure ends right here. This is just part of it. Now, this finally dawned on me. And I bet Joey probably caught on to this a long time ago. But this is what they've been trying to say with the squaring of the circle thing, and how the Great Pyramid of Khufu actually tells you the size of the Earth and the moon, which just blows me away. I actually heard Glenn Beck say it a long time ago, one time, years ago when I was watching his show, but I didn't understand it. But now I do. To square the circle, you have to have a 9-unit circle and an 8-unit square. So let's take this square right here, and let's just start over here. We'll draw our Earth here again. And here's our perimeter. So to square the circle, you have to have an 8-unit square. And you have to have a 9-unit circle. So we put our moon right here. And the circle, being 9 units, will go like this. It'll cut the moon right in half right there. Right there at its radius. And the Great Pyramid of Khufu, with its 51.84 degree angles, will actually give you the moon and the earth together, because it has to be at that exact angle for it to work. And that just astounds me. So by squaring the circle of the pyramid, you get the moon and the capstone. This right here will give you the capstone. And there's your whole all-seeing eye pyramid capstone thing that, you know, all that stuff comes from. So it finally dawned on me how that all worked. It finally makes sense, and I get it now. So Joey says 8 times 9, 72. Lord Jesus Christ in septenary is... Let's see, I can't see your entire comment here. I gotta click it. Let's see. 494. Oh, yeah, it's 495, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Lord Jesus Christ in septenary in English. Yeah, it comes down to 495, right? Yeah, that's another one of your discoveries, I think, which I say all the time, which is really awesome. Now, this is also pretty interesting. Okay, I'm reading Revelation, and I see that the New Jerusalem, which is, best I can tell, it's not the entirety of heaven. I guess it's supposed to be, just one city that is recreated in the newly created heavens and earth, I think. Okay, that's the best way I can understand what it's trying to say. If you have a different opinion, nobody goes to hell for disagreeing with Greg Bow. It's, So it says that the wall is 144 cubits. Just the wall of the city of the New Jerusalem is 144 cubits. It's pretty interesting. I mean, we just had the rest of Revelation, and it talked about the 144,000. It talks about the sun-clothed woman, which I talked about last time. Just a little review on that. The sun-clothed woman, you got the circle, you got the pentagram in here, which is, oh gosh, I'm so bad with art. Okay, let's see. So it's sun-clothed because the sun is a star, obviously, right? And there's 72 degrees between each one of these. Okay, so you got 72, 72, 72. That's 216. That's our moon. Okay, that's what makes her a woman, right? Then we have the other 2 degrees is 144, because women and moon are always compared together. Okay, they're always paired up. Now, she's the sun-clothed woman, but the moon is under her feet right now. Okay, but if you invert the pyramid too, you can also see her as a woman, because then you have, let's see, like this. Okay, then you have the chalice symbol versus the phallic symbol. And this is why the Ladies Auxiliary of the Masons uses that inverted pyramid, you see. So she's sun-clothed, okay, but then she also has, two chapters later, it's talking about the 144,000. Well, that's what this is talking about. And it's got the 12 stars over and all this. And that's, 12 times 12 is 144. Claire says that the knowledge of the forever time is a great documentary to watch. It also speaks of the circle and square measurements around the pyramids. Forever time. Huh. Okay, Claire, if you know where I can find that, it's on Netflix or something, that'd be great. I just got rid of my TV service here in another week or so because I can't afford it anymore. It's crazy what they're charging for satellite anymore, because it's like $80 for the internet and another freaking $80 for TV. It's like $160 for TV, after taxes. It's like, that's insane. I just can't do that no more. Well, anyway, let's go back to the New Jerusalem. So we're just a few chapters away, chapter 14, I think it was the sun-clothed woman. Now we're in Revelation 21, and we're talking about the New Jerusalem. The world and the universe has been destroyed and all this. And you got just the wall itself is 144 cubits. But here's the interesting thing. It says, has 12 foundations, and 12 gates, and it says each gate is 12 pearls. The gates were 12 pearls, so each one of the gates is a different pearl. Yeah, I'm better off without it, ain't I, Joe? Sit around and read more and study more, I'll tell you that right now. Just not having them around. And probably actually get some housework done or something too, huh? Well, we already know 12 times 12 is 144. But then I saw that 12 times 12 is 1,728. Then I experimented with that, and it doesn't come out exact, but you can tell what they're trying for. It's what we started with. 1,728 divided by pi, 3.14, equals 550. So remember the mound in Charleston, West Virginia that I was showing you here. The first thing I drew, 555 feet around, which tells you they were using that sort of a system way back in thousands of years. The feet and inches is nothing new. It wasn't invented by the Queen or anything like people tell you. It's a very old system. And I think that's why they're reluctant to get rid of it, to be honest with you, because it cuts into their understanding of the mysteries, Now, if you take 1728 divided by 3.1 instead of 3.14, it gets you just a little bit closer. So very close to the 555. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. You can even get it a little bit closer like this. If you take the chapter that it's in, Revelation 21:12. I'm sure, Joey, you recognize exactly what's going on there, right? It's mirrored, right? Revelation 21:12, right? Well, take 12 plus 13 all the way to 21 plus 14 plus 15, all the way to 21, add them together. That equals 726. Now you can see how close that is, 728 to 726. So if you want to get it even just a little bit closer, just change it to 1726 and divide that by pi. And let's see, where did it get me? 7.7. So it gets even a little closer to the 5.55. I don't know if that's intentional, or what. But it is interesting. Sometimes you don't know. You just can't tell. And that New Jerusalem, that's just the wall. The New Jerusalem's the same thing. It's a cube. 12. It's 12,000 furlongs, it says there in Revelations. 12,000 by 12,000 by 12,000. Now, I honestly don't think that these are actual measurements being given to us in Revelation. I think, like the rest of Revelation, it's meant to be metaphor because, think about it. I can't tell you how many people think a real 10-headed dragon is going to come out of the ocean one day during the reign of the Antichrist. Obviously that's a metaphor, if you got any brains at all, right? Well, I think the measurements probably are too. I don't think we're literally going to see a big actual square cube, a big cube drop from heaven, and that's the New Jerusalem, and it's going to be 12,000 furlongs. I don't even know how long a furlong is, but let's say it's something like half a mile or something. I don't even know, but I'm just going to guess something. But I don't think it's going to be 6,000 miles long or whatever. It's just I don't think that's I don't think that's what they're really trying to tell us there. So anyway, that's my discoveries for now. But this is my question. That thing we always draw here. Let me just go ahead and draw it again. I'm going to ask this question again. And I really want somebody to give me the answer. Maybe, Hugh probably knows the answer. If you know the answer, Hugh, please tell. Because I really want to know the answer to this question. Okay? We just squared the circle. We saw how the square and the circle gives us the measurements for the Earth and the Moon. We know that, like I've drawn this 1,000 times, that it's also Kabbalah, because all the measurements, all the angles in a cube add up to a total of 2,160 or whatever. Yeah. And that's the diameter of the moon, 2,160. And we just showed how squaring the circle can be used with the measurements of the Great Pyramid to give us the size of the Earth and the Moon. Now, here's my question. Did the Egyptians actually know the size of the Earth and the Moon? Or is NASA lying to us to give us measurements that go along with the ancient geometry? Is the moon actually 2,160 miles across? That's what I want to know. But it's not like I have any way that I know how to measure it. Now, I don't know. Hugh might be really good at geometry. Joey, maybe you might be too. I want to know the truth. I want to know, is the moon really 2,160 miles across? If it is, then I feel like NASA's also hiding a lot of stuff from us because they're not giving credit for this. They're not going out yes and yes. So yes, the Egyptians knew the size of the Earth and the moon, and NASA is lying to give us the measurements to go along with the ancient geometry. Well, they can't both be true, can they? It has to be one or the other, right? Because if the Egyptians knew the right size, and that is the right size, then NASA's telling us the truth because they're telling us it's 2,160. So it had to be yes and no. They're what's the word? Mutually exclusive. Is that right? Yeah. Now, as Hugh knows, I'm not one of the flat earthers or anything like that. But I was wondering why they lie so much. And then Hugh says, well, the reason is that the Egyptians, NASA's not going to give you the exact numbers and all the data when they go to the moon, because then the Russians would have had it, which makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. So it doesn't mean it's flat. People like to run to the opposite extreme. You know, NASA's lying, so the world must be flat. Well, I don't even know if they're lying. You know, I don't, the pictures I think are lying about the moon, obviously. Okay. You know, and the speeds are getting, because they don't want the Russians to have it. But when it comes to the size of the moon, okay. So, well, just I got lost in my own question. Hugh, is NASA lying about the diameter of the moon, or is that the diameter of the moon? And if it is, then that means the Egyptians have known the real diameter of the moon for, you know, and whoever, I'm saying the Egyptians, but we don't even know that the Egyptians built the pyramid. There's no hieroglyphs on it or anything. There's nothing to indicate that the actual Egyptians built it. It could have been built long before then. It doesn't seem to contain the same architecture and things that the later Egyptians knew. At least that's what some. No, they aren't lies. Okay, so Hugh says that the moon is 2,160 miles in diameter, and that would mean then that the Egyptians, or whoever built the pyramids, actually knew the real size of the Earth and the real size of the moon. And that's something I need to seriously consider, because pyramids were altered by the pharaohs. Yeah, okay. Somebody took the limestone casing off of it. We know that. And I know somebody drew Khufu's name in there, but it seemed like a more modern forgery. Other than that one writing, there were no other writings in the Great Pyramid. No hieroglyphs of any sort inside of it, except for that one place. So that that's something I've been trying to get to the bottom of, Hugh. So I appreciate your answer there, and I mean, just the thought that it may actually be that, and that they've known this that long, is another dynamic of how I'm constantly growing and trying to shape how I think about things, and that's the thing. I may say something a few months ago or whatever, but I don't consider what I say like authoritative. I consider it part of my learning experience. And if you heard me say something in the past, well, that means I'm trying to figure it. It's not like I have a teacher for this knowledge. It's like we're all just trying to figure it out. Some of it is stuff Joey figured out, especially with the magic squares and stuff like that. And it's amazing both of you got on at the same time, because both of you have had a big impact on the way I see a lot of things. So it's been pretty awesome to have you guys around to learn from. So Claire says, I feel you'll get some answers from the documentary on YouTube or Amazon Prime. It has 8. Oh, it's a series. Okay. It's a series. Let's see. I already forgot the name of it. I'm scrolling up to see what the name of it. The Knowledge of the Forever Time. Okay, I'm writing that down, Claire. So I may want to go back and rent those from YouTube. The Knowledge of the Forever Time. Well, other than that, I don't have anything else to say tonight. I thought about going through Revelation today and making it about Revelation. Let's see. Hugh says the moon has to be the exact size and distance it is to cause an eclipse. So the moon was designed to be the size it is. Yeah, absolutely. There's no question. That's strongly indicative of design. Mind blowing, but worth a while. Yeah, I'll if it don't cost me too much, Claire. Kind of broke right now. Yeah, I gotta love what our government healthcare system. It's great. You can either make money or you can have healthcare, but you can't have both unless you make a whole lot of money. But you can't be in the middle. You know, we went like $100 over, and they took our Medicaid completely off. It's not like they just, you know, taper it down or anything like that. It's just like, okay, you made $100 too. Like you're supposed to be able to buy healthcare for $100. You know, that's crazy. Oh, it's free. That's my favorite price, Claire. So yeah, so it really sucks what our government's doing to us. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, we got a screwed up system here, Claire. Yeah, I forgot you're in the UK. So yeah, they give you a card that says you have health care over there, but then, you know, you might die of cancer before you get an appointment, you know. So yeah. Yeah, free is best. Yep, I agree. So anyway, thank you all for watching. And if you find yourself watching this on YouTube on Bow and Arrow, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you all another time. Yeah, thanks, Joey and Claire.